Okay, time now is 2:03 p.m. I literally just woke up. I'm still in my pajamas actually. Uh just brushed my teeth. Yeah, I slept from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. basically. Naturally woke up actually around 1:45. It was a very good sleep. I still feel tired as fuck. Um but yeah, last night Jayun finally responded to my message and she says, "Welcome aboard, colon, parenthesis. I'll let the budget people and the producers know." And then she's gone. And then I told her, like, is texting better? And then she's not responding again. It's gonna take another 19 business days for her to respond to that shit. So, yeah. And then, I yeah, and then that's it. I still slept really late. I still couldn't finish Redbeard. I need to finish it today, obviously. Um, but yeah. Um, I also really need to just sleep earlier in general because I'm filming later this week. I so today I'm going to go to school a bit early just so that I can meet up with Ethan Kwan, and he's gonna give me the gimbal, and um he's gonna give me his gimbal and his tube light. I feel really bad for borrowing his stuff. So I'm probably gonna say something like, "Hey, if you have a personal project and if you need help, I'm here." So yeah, and Kay from HKOS at 2 a.m. randomly woke up, assuming that she was asleep earlier. She said, "Yeah, Tuesday's fine." So tomorrow I'll wake up a little early to have a phone call with Kay. Um, Today I really needed to sleep, and then yeah, that's it. Today we also have CTPR 290 sound check in. So it's gonna be sound stuff for an hour, and then we're gonna go back to the classroom and learn more about directing. Um, and then finally, yeah, and then finally, oh, I just noticed something. Okay, this is fucking hilarious. A group is supposed to film last weekend, and B group is filming this weekend. By the logic of the class, because we're doing sound today. People in A group doesn't know how to do sound, but B group does know. That doesn't make any sense. I want to do sound for my film. I need people to hear things. Had I waited, like, had I filmed my thing last weekend, I wouldn't have, because I don't own any sound equipment. This makes sense now. This makes a lot of sense now. So now I'm okay with, like, having sound with my film. But maybe, yeah. Well, that's a bit of an issue because maybe someone else is gonna use it this weekend. Anyways, um, yeah, and I'm still struggling with the 290 short film pre-production. I think it's not as bad as Love and Death. Love and Death pre-production was just pure anxiety, but this one is still like I need a dorm, I need lights, I need extras, and I still don't know how am I gonna do it. Um, but yeah, I think the most important thing is oh yeah, later tonight I'm gonna have a call with Vivian. I hope she's read the script. We need to figure this out. We really, really need to figure this out. And I need crew people. So yeah, I'm tryharding. I actually like took a sneak peek at some other people's scripts last night, and most of them are fucking garbage. By the way, most of them. One of them is about insomnia. Because again, you have to think in terms of like how do I write a story but with no dialogue but voiceover? So it's like inner monologue. One of them is about insomnia. One of them is about walking around USC and just being amazed by the architecture, which is sure. I saw Cheyenne's one, and oh my god, she's my op now. She's my op. Cheyenne's script is this very experimental script about, I think, a girl being like brainwashed by a cult leader or something, and it's like experimental. It's got like CCTV footage and weird, colorful space, and it's like, oh my god, she's locked in. She's locked in. Now I gotta lock in. So I thought about, you know what? It's just like a class project. I don't even have to take it that seriously. If I don't have the flashing lights at the end, it's fine. But she's locked in, and if she's locked in, I have to lock in. I'm doing the flashing lights. I'm doing it all the way. I don't care if it's against the rules. Right now, it's not a matter of following the rules or not. Right now, it's a matter of who's the better filmmaker. Okay, I have to lock in. I have to emerge out on the top. So right now, my class is just Cheyenne and me, the two best filmmakers. I hope I'm in the top two, just like battling out each other. So yeah, oof. I was talking to Jacob yesterday, and Jacob told me that his class also has two good filmmakers. One is Jordan, the other is Ethan. Don't know who they are, but I will remember their names. And then what's the other thing? A couple other things happened yesterday that I forgot to mention. Justin T was really jumpy yesterday, like really playful. I don't know. It'll come up. I'm sure it'll come up. Yeah. And then tomorrow's gonna be even more complicated. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I had a dream. I dreamed that I saw Vivian. And I dreamed that I was in this cold, sad world where everything's depressing. And I'm not sure why am I living anymore when it's all rainy and cloudy and I'm stuck in some kind of apartment. Or maybe some kind of like building that is half exterior, half interior, and I'm like shopping or something, and I'm eating food, and my mom's making me some food, and something like that. I don't know. I'm dreaming about my own short film. Christian R said that he's dreaming about Pit. I'm dreaming about my own short film now. I need to charge my phone because it has no battery. Gimbal acquired, guys. Thank you, Gateway. oh shit, okay.
Mic with the softie attached, which is okay. Just letting you know. There's a QR code on your box. Scan it and it will.
It's 8:52 p.m. Just came back home. I'm still in my street clothes. I look terrible. So yeah, today I had a good sleep, but I still felt tired after waking up, which is bad. I really need to train myself to go to bed earlier. I think tonight I'll go for 5 a.m. I think till 9 I'll go for 5 a.m. Which is late as fuck already, but I'll try. And then tomorrow's gonna be a mess. So yeah, today I woke up and I had a stomachache again. I don't know why. I think lately I've been having stomach troubles. I think in the last few days I've been having just like bad stomach issues. But anyways, it's okay because I have all day, kinda, sorta. So I had breakfast, filmed a movie, an album review, and then I had lunch, and then I had to leave. So I pretty much did not really do anything. And then I went to Gateway. So Ethan Kwan. I went to Gateway to meet with Ethan Kwan, and it was around 5:33 p.m. And if Ethan Kwan shows up in time and we test it out and everything works, then then I will be able to make it to my class on time at 6 p.m. So I went to Gateway, went to the lobby, waited a little bit, and then there he is. He showed up with a light and a gimbal box right here, right now, which is fucking crazy. So I have the gimbal now. So he was very quick, and he's very like no pleasantries, no nothing. He's just like, hey, what's up? Okay, so this is how you set up this, that, press this, press that. Okay, I need to get back. And I was like, thank you so much. And he's like, yeah, sure. And then he just left so fast. So, yeah. In my head, I'm thinking he's probably younger than me, but yeah, I don't know. I wish I'm closer to him. But I know he's really busy. But yeah, anyways, that went down really smoothly. He showed me the lights, and holy shit, it's actually good. Like, I thought a tube light is like the worst case scenario, but no, I think this actually works. Like, because you could change the color temperature of the light, so you can make it blue, you can make it purplish. There are different modes, you can make it flash. It's super useful. Like, the flashing thing, that's exactly what I needed. It's not as strong as the 60 watt, obviously, but this is perfect. So I was like, thank you, I'll give them back to you. He thought I'm filming tomorrow, and I'm like, I'm actually filming this weekend. And he's like, oh, it's okay. So I just walked back to school, went to SCA. I think I saw Anya, not sure. But anyways, I went up to the SEC, the Sound Equipment Checkout Room, or the Sound Equipment Center, I think. And yeah, there's this Indian guy, and there's just everyone. Everyone's there. And I spoke to Ryan. Ryan finished shooting his thing, and he's like, yeah, I have no idea what I just did. It was bad. And in my head, I'm like, first of all, Ryan's not like a seasoned director. Neither am I, but I've directed 8 shorts. So honestly, I'm not that worried about directing. I'm more worried about the logistics of it, because I don't produce much. I direct much, I don't produce much. So I'm worried about not being able to get the locations and the actors and everything. But as for the directing itself, I'm kind of confident, actually. If I have a camera and I have a sound, then I'll go boom, boom, boom. ASAP. Yeah, and then yeah, we checked out the sound equipment. I was with Tina and Audrey S, my trio mates. And honestly, I know nothing about sound. So we opened the sound equipment box, and it's a Spiff or a Zeppelin, and there's a shotgun mic inside, and then there's like cables, there's a boom pole, and there's a dead cat and everything. And we had about half an hour to learn how any of those things work. And and it was so fast that most is skimmed over. There's an Indian guy and he's teaching us, but yeah. So it's very confusing, and I'm also not that familiar with doing sound stuff, so I didn't know how to open up the Zeppelin thing. Yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna even use it. Like, for my second project, I'll probably just like ask someone to borrow labs, which is a pain in the ass, but I need to borrow labs, or I buy my own labs, which is a good investment. Like, I need sound, and I'm not gonna get a shotgun mic for sound. I think lavs are the superior device than shotgun mic. I know like sticking lavs is like complicated, but lavs are so much better because you don't have to worry about a whole guy holding a boom pole at a distance, which is just too obvious. I do guerrilla filmmaking. I just stick a lav, go off, actor, go off. Anyways, I digress. We were asked to like recite, not recite. We were asked to read out loud 5 paragraphs on a piece of paper, and I had to read out loud the longest paragraph. Essentially, it's just like safety and like you're liable for all damages, and you cannot loan out these equipment because they are, school owned, and it's if you do, then you'll get fined and you'll get whatever. So yeah, after that, I noticed that Cheyenne, the crazy French woman, I don't know why I keep thinking French. She's just American, but she has a French name because I think she's French American. Crazy woman, crazy blonde, Lynchian blonde, the Lynch blonde. She's wearing a Death Grips hoodie because of course she's edgy. She likes violence, So I came up to her and I was like, "Oh, by the way, nice Death Grips hoodie." And she's like, "Thank you." And I was like, "Yeah, I have a Death Grips hoodie too, but it's a different one." And she's like, "Oh, which show did you go to?" And I was like, "Oh, it's 2 years ago in May in Hollywood Palladium." And she's like, "I was there too." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." She's really like nice and she's smiling and she's like quiet and she's like a little awkward even, which is like crazy. You're a crazy woman. What the fuck? To be fair, I'm a crazy guy too, and I'm also soft spoken and awkward. But yeah. And then we migrated the whole class. We went from SEC to room 209 again. And on our way there, we chatted more and more. Like me, like Cheyenne was in the same trio with Andrew Wu and Ryan for some reason. So, um, I was talking to Ryan and Andrew Wu about cause I'm carrying a gimbal and my camera bag is with me and everything. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna use my own equipment. I don't think the professor would even care. Like they were staircases, and that's supposedly a safety hazard. And then Cheyenne joined us, and Cheyenne was like, "Oh yeah, there's like a skateboard." Because Ryan's first short film has like a skateboard in it, and that's supposedly a safety hazard. But the professor did not point that out. CC did not point that out, so it's fine. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm not even gonna tell my professor that I'm using a gimbal or whatever or extra lights or whatever. I'm doing it without permits, or at least most of the places I will not get permits. I will get permits for the obvious locations, like the SCA classroom. Like Roski, I don't need a permit. Like there's gonna be no people. I'll get permits for the locations that has a lot of people. Yeah. And then what else? So yeah, we sat at the very back again, and the whole class is about directing. We watched Jaws, a clip from Jaws. We watched a short film, and we're just analyzing the editing and the mise en scène, And I didn't really focus. I spent the entire class sort of just planning out the shooting schedule for Remain in Light, and holy shit, it's complicated. It wouldn't be that complicated if it weren't for the makeup. The fact that Vivian has to change her makeup 4 or 5 times in the whole shoot makes it really difficult to coordinate everything according to makeup and location, and also the fact that there will be other actors joining in. So again, my short is insanely complicated. Like no one else is going to beat me for how complicated my short is going to be. So yeah, that's that. And then yeah, I'm gonna be calling Vivian at around 10 p.m. I'll see if I can call her earlier, but I'm also hungry and I need to make dinner. Rice, pork chop, cabbage, and mushroom, and then I'll end off tonight with some yogurt. I'm also gonna order food on Wii. Anyways, I digress. At the end of the class, the professor's like, "I'm reading you guys' scripts. I'm reading your scripts, and I realize that no one is talking about their own lives. But don't you feel that the most personal is the most powerful? Okay, I want you all to take out a pen and paper or anything you can write on and think of 5 of the most emotional moments in your life. And then think of the 5 most unique places you've ever been to. Think about a person who you first met, you have these thoughts, and then you know more, and then you have other thoughts. And I'm just like, well, fuck, you're just asking me to have a mental breakdown. So I didn't really do the exercise, and also, like, my scripts are devastatingly personal. Every single one of my scripts are devastatingly personal, almost too personal, to a point where it's almost embarrassing. It's not almost, it's actually embarrassing, but I still do it because that's how masochistic I am. So yeah. Especially The World Is Not Enough. It's like there are parts of it where there's literally home video. It's so personal to the point where you can see me when I'm 2 years old, me when I'm like 11, and then me when I'm 20, and I'm projecting myself into 50, 60 years old. Like, that's how much I'm in that film. So yeah. But anyways, the whole equipment gear issue is fixed. Props should be easy. Now all that matters, I think the most important thing are the locations. So again, pre-production. The 4 things you need to immediately do is fundraising, which I'm doing it out of pocket, so it's gonna be okay. Casting, which I'm mostly done. I got Vivian locked in, and for the main character, for Smooth Operator, I've locked in Ryan R. I'm gonna call him that. And then I think I'm doing I don't know, I'm just asking a bunch of random people. I'm asking Kaylin to show up, I'm asking Glenn to show up. I'm asking Mia, the Chinese woman, to show up. And I'm asking, I need more extras. That's the thing. I'm gonna put out an Instagram story, but I need, like, for the classroom scene, I need at least 7 people. You know, I have 4 so far, or is it 3? I forgot. Yeah, 3. And then, yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? Not much else. So, yeah. The most important location, the most important part of pre-production right now is the classroom and the dorm. I don't know where to film for the dorm. I'll call Vivian and I'll talk to her. The best case scenario is that we film at her place, but obviously I don't think she would like that. I don't think anyone would like that. So I would have to ask Vivian if she knows someone where we can film at their place, or maybe Kaylin or whatever. And then I need a crew member too, and I don't know if Ashley Lee is available. I may ask Justin T, but I think he's not going to be free too. Oh my god. Crazy, 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 crazy. What else? But yeah, I'm gonna pay for lunch for both days because we're taking it seriously now. And then yeah, location. And then if I have the locations, then it's a done deal. If I have the location, then, and if I can confirm all the actors who are showing up, then it's a done deal. Then pre-production is kind of done, and then I have to confirm the schedule and everything. I have to confirm with everyone when to show up, etc., etc. There's not going to be any call sheets, and then after that, we'll shoot, and then we shoot, and then, you know, I was DMing Rachel before class, and Rachel's like, "Oh, I haven't even figured out a script," and I told Rachel, "I'm fucked. I have a script and a shot list and everything, but I don't have locations and actors," and she's like, "No, you're good." who else made a shot list as elaborate as mine? Let's be honest here. But then again, I've done this many times. Like, I think, like, the last time somebody really helped me produce a film was Dreams of an Empty Street. But since then, Cloud Busting, My Bloody Valentine, Love and Death, The World Is Not Enough, Objects in Mirror, The World Is Not Enough. 5 times. I would come up with the shot list and schedule myself. Yeah. Especially Love and Death. Love and Death is super DIY, and it was actually really simple. Love and Death is insanely simple. A hella simple short film. But yeah, I'm filming 48 shots over 2 days. So it's 20. The first day is like around 30 shots. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I saw John Kim when I was leaving, and Andrew Wu dapped him up, and John Kim didn't see me, but I said hi later, and I told Andrew Wu, almost didn't recognize him. So that was funny. Walked a little bit with Andrew Wu, and he said he's going to Icon Plaza. My memory's not working well right now, actually. I keep zoning out. Oh my god. Yeah, production, pre-production, etc., 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 and then I have about 2 days to finish editing that, which I should be able to. It shouldn't be that difficult. And I'm going to use copyrighted music. I'm not putting this out there for competition or anything yet. That can wait forever, honestly. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. There's Pit, there's Giant Short, there's Smooth Operator, Maisie's Thing, HKOS. Yeah. I'm excited for HKOS though. Last night I was already thinking, which Johnny Toe film should we screen? Okay, we should screen Throwdown. I'm thinking The Mission and PTU, and we need a wild card, like a film that no one would expect, like Running on Karma. Like we need something obscure, where no one has ever heard of this film, or it's very niche, and it's like, whoa, what a surprise. We can't just do like the most famous Johnny Toe films. There needs to be a wild card. So yeah, I strongly petition for PTU and The Mission, back to back, double feature even. I guess they're both super short anyways. Anyways, I'm brainstorming. Throwdown is really short. I mean, yeah. Fuck, not much else. Okay, time now is 10:52 a.m. in the morning on February 11th. Yeah, it probably is. Yep. Yeah, slept from 5:50 to 10:50 basically. I woke up a little bit before the alarm even rang. Oh my god. The good thing is I don't have to wake up that early tomorrow. Do I? Huh. But yeah. So, I finally finished Redbeard, but I kept falling asleep near the end. And then I did nothing else other than editing an album review. Not the most productive, but it's okay. I did have a phone call with Vivian about half an hour before I had dinner. I called her while I was cooking, and she was quite punctual about it. At 10 p.m. sharp, she sent me her phone number and she's like, just call it there. And I'm like, okay. So I called her there, and she saved my phone number, and then she's like, hey, what's up? Like, she's very attentive. And I'm like, so you read the script, right? And she's like, yeah, and it's really fun, you know? In fact, I've been doing research. And she's like, okay, I saw that you're doing a British accent and French accent. And she's actually trying out those accents. And I'm like, oh, okay. I told her I don't know where to shoot for the dorm. And she's like, oh, you can shoot at my place. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, thank you. So I guess we were filming at Vivian's place, which is great because it's all the more convenient if she wants to change her costume and makeup. And then I told her, oh, if it's possible, do you think you know anyone who you can bring as extras? And she's like, yeah, sure. So yeah, holy shit, she's actually really good. What? Yeah. So problem solved for a lot of things. Like, one is my script is really crazy and it has a lot of costume and makeup changes, but she's gonna do it and she's gonna figure it out. We talked over it, and I got the dorm location. All I need to worry about is the classroom location. And then finally, yeah, I think I'll figure the extras out. Now the only thing I need to do is the classroom location, which I'm gonna try to figure out today, and finding a couple people to help crew on my set. I don't want to put out an Instagram story because usually people just ignore it. I'll put one out to find extras though. Yeah. Anyways, today, I have a phone call with Kay at 11:20. Oh, I'm so tired. And then I have, Religion 135, and then I have 1.5 hours of ALI meetings. So we're gonna meet up, and I don't even know where we're gonna meet up. We haven't booked a room at the library or anything. Maybe we'll just meet up outside of the library. Yeah, maybe the village. Who knows? But yeah. And then that's it. And then I'll go home, and then it's fine. It's whatever. Yeah, bit of a complicated day. I also want to go to school early just so that I could talk to operations, which I don't know where it is, but it's a SCA operations to figure out the classroom location. Yeah. I gotta sleep, man. I gotta sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Competition. Another competition.
Thanks.
Need to sign the paper. Okay, time now is 8:17 p.m. I know the day hasn't completely been over, but I'm just gonna wrap it up right now. Yeah, woke up and felt like shit. I like that I say this every day now. I woke up and I felt like shit. Um, and yeah, I woke up, felt terrible, and I went back to sleep for like 5 more minutes. It meant nothing. And at 11:20 a.m., I called, or Kay called me. And we had a 5 minute phone call. It was very short. I thought the phone call would be half an hour long, but I think she's driving and she's like, "Oh, I'm about to be in a Zoom call in like 5 minutes, so we only have 5 minutes to talk." So essentially, Kay told me, "Okay, there's going to be a Google spreadsheet, there's going to be a list of movies, and we're just going to start brainstorming. We're going to start talking to film distributors." And I'm like, okay. And we like brainstormed a few ideas immediately. Like we were talking about Johnny Toe, and then he was like, "Oh, how about we screen John Woo films? Because I know John Woo lives in L.A. If we could get one of the John Woo films to be screened, like it would be huge. Like it's a chance worth trying." The We should maintain the mindset that we're beggars. Like, yeah, it's cool, we're the only organization in LA right now screening Hong Kong films, one of the biggest cities screening films from also one of the biggest and most important cities, and we have all these connections with filmmakers and film distributors, but also we're broke and we're new and we're basically beggars. So if I hit up John Woo, it isn't like, "Yo, what up, Uncle John?" Like, no. It's gonna be, "Hey, just by any chance, would you maybe, perhaps, probably be able to, maybe," like, we're beggars, okay? We are beggars. We're broke beggars. But yeah, she kept on coming with new ideas. Like she's like, "Oh, there are other cult films we could do, like Ebola Syndrome and The Untold Story." And she's like, "Oh, I forgot the name of the director." And I was like, "Wilson Yip." And she's like, "No, not Wilson Yip." And I was like, "Oh, Herman Yao." And she's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Oh, how about Soy Chang?" So last year when John L was the director, he proposed that aside from Anne Her, we could also do Soy Chang. But the thing is, Soy Chang is not as popular as John Woo and Johnny To, but there's some culty films from him too. And then I made a suggestion. I was like, "Hey, we could also do martial arts film like wuxia." And she was like, "Yeah, like King Hu." And I'm like, "Yeah, I like King Hu stuff myself. Ooh, if we could do a King Hu retrospective, that would be crazy." But obviously, the rights are gone. So suddenly we have all these ideas. And I was like, "So we're screening only 10 films?" And she's like, "We could do more, but the problem is money. The screening fees, the fees for booking, it's not like you could just get a movie and screen it like it's a movie night or something. This is a film festival. It costs us." So, ugh, but we'll see. So, yeah, so last year it was 10 films, and Kay talked to 5 film distributors, and I talked to 5 more film distributors, or John L talked to 5 more. So it's gonna be same this year. It's gonna be half and half. I'll contact some people, and she'll contact some people. So that's really interesting. Got me interested. So I looked up on the internet like Johnny To's PTU distributor. The thing is, I don't think PTU has a North America distributor at all. And I looked up like, is it okay to screen a film that has no distributor? No, it's not okay. Or I don't know, maybe there's a loophole, but in any case, Throwdown is Criterion. Criterion has the Heroic Trio. Criterion has A Touch of Zen. Eureka has Running on Karma, but Eureka's British, so I don't know how that works. And Arrow has some Johnny To films. No, no. But yeah, So, um, yeah, so lots and lots. So, anyways, I went to my religion class, but before that, of course, I have ulterior motives. I arrived on campus about half an hour early before class, and the first thing I did was I tried to go to the operations office. Rachel told me it's like behind the campus. It's the same building as the camera equipment and the sound equipment place. And I went into it, and I looked at a map, and there is operations. And then I went, and then I saw a door. I knocked on the door, and the guy's like, "Go the other way." So I went the other way, and oh wow, 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 wow! This is the hidden room. This is the hidden room Cheyenne went to take a photo of like the security cameras. So I was there and I was like, okay, I need to rent out a rooms to film. And he's like, and I was worried that the rooms are gonna be like rented, booked. But no, the guy was like, on the 15th morning, yeah, we got a room 258, and apparently we can only use two rooms, like either 258 or 259. So yeah, the guy was like, oh yeah, it's available, just get a permit first. So since I have like 15 more minutes, I'm like, sure. So I went to the SPO office, the production office, and I grabbed a couple permit papers and I started making permits. Again, I'm lying. I'm lying on all of them. I'm getting two permits for my short film when I have like 7 or 8 locations. And also, I lied about like the synopsis. I lied that it's only going to be me and Vivian when there's actually going to be way more people in it. But it's okay. We're lying. And yeah, I got the permit. The only reason why I'm getting these two permits, by the way, one for the room in SCA and the other for outside the tutor center, is because these two are the two locations that people will bug us if we don't have the paperwork. So yeah, the paperwork doesn't have to be truthful. All we need is the physical piece of paper that has all the signatures and shit. And all the other locations I'm not getting permits for. Not at all. Nada. I am prioritizing the quality of my film than the rules. Because, like, who fucking cares, man? So, yeah. And then I had it signed, and then it's already, like, 12:26. I'm like, fuck. So, in 4 minutes, I speed walked to a Manson Center, took religion class, not much happened. And then, yeah, spoke up once, spoke out loud, a passage, nothing important happened. And then I left, and then, I walked all the way. So, we left early, we left at around 1:45-ish, 1:40. So I was like, yeah, great, now I have extra time. So I went to the operations office again, and I was like, hey, I got my permits now, and they've changed shifts, so it's new people now. I was like, oh, earlier I was here and I wanted to rent out this room, like book this room, etc., etc. And they were like, yep, it's still available. Put down your piece of paper, and our faculty, whoever is outside right now, but when she comes back and signs it, we'll email you to come pick it up. And I'm like, cool. So I left my thing there, and I thought that works out because I'm going to my ALI meeting and my ITA meeting, and then I have another ITA meeting, and then I can come back to pick it up. It works out. So I went to I went to the USC Village, and boom, I saw the guy. He's a Chinese guy, short hair, looks really old. Looks like he's in the late 20s, really old. Looks like he's in the late 20s. Apparently he's in the first year of PhD, and yeah, he's nice but really shy. Like, he doesn't maintain eye contact. And again, I don't know why I'm so age conscious, but when you're older than me, I expect you to be like, bigger and stronger and stuff like that. But no, he's like shy, but he also looks way more, like way older than the two TAs I've worked with before. But yeah, he's like apparently he studies gerontology, which I thought was really interesting. And I asked him if it's like biology or if it's more like statistics, and he's like, yeah, it's more statistics. And he's like a blank sheet of paper. He's got nothing. He likes, I was like, what do you like? What are you interested in? And he's like, my research and basketball. He really likes basketball. He used to play a lot of basketball. He came from Xiangyang City in Hubei. And I later, he asked me where I'm from. And I'm like, can you make a guess? And he's like, from here? And I'm like, no. And he's like, from Hong Kong? And I'm like, oh yeah, how do you know? So yeah, and then he opened up a bit more. We talked and talked. And I got really hungry because I only ate 2 cookies for breakfast and I have to like survive until 5:30 p.m. So I went to Starbucks and bought myself a sandwich, a mozzarella cheese egg pesto sandwich, and then I went over to the FedEx office to print out the contracts that he needs to sign. And then we signed it, and then we still have like 45 minutes to kill, and we have nothing good to talk about. I was like, oh, do you have like something we could rehearse, like practice? And he's like, no. So we just walked. It's crazy. It's our first meeting, and we're already having a mini adventure. So he needs to get back to Gerontology Center for an online Zoom meeting, and I need to go to the bookstore to meet my next ITA anyways. And while we were on the way, he's like, yeah, let's just check out the library at Mud Hall. So I'm like, sure. So we just went to the library at Mud Hall, and it's my first time there too, and I just checked out some books, and it's pretty interesting. Most of the books are about philosophy, and the whole place has this very classical, elegant Harry Potter aura that it's just very fascinating. And then we left, and then he's like, you know what, let's just end early. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't know if the instructor would approve, but I approve. And he's like, yeah, let's just end early. We can lie. So thank God, because I don't want to do all 2 hours where we have nothing to do. And that's the thing. It's like during these ITA meetings, I always stretch out the time and realize, holy shit, I don't know what to do for all 2 hours. But yeah, at some point he mentioned that he has a girlfriend and etc., etc. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So, he left early. It's like our meeting is supposed to go from 2 to 4, but he left at 3:30 p.m. So I had half an hour, and I'm like, you know what? I'll go back to the operations office and pick up my signed permit. I got an email saying it's signed. I'm like, yippee-ki-yay. So I went back to STA for the 3rd or 4th time. Like, 3rd. And we also walked past a Manson Center. So I went to the Manson Center twice today. I just went back and forth, up and down, north and south the campus. So anyways, I walked back to the operations office, to SCA. And as I was walking, I saw 2 people in front of me. On the left is a girl with short red hair. On the right, it's a guy with short red hair. And I'm like, could that be Anya and Colin? Could that be Anya and Colin? So I followed them. I walked closer to take a look, to get a sneak peek whether it's them. And it is them. My intuition was right. So I walked up and I was like, Colin. And they didn't reply. And I was like, Colin and Anya. And they turn around. They're like, hey. And they simultaneously turn around. It's so weird when, like, if I run into one person, we could say, hey, and we could talk and we could catch up. But if I run into 2 people and they both simultaneously turn around and simultaneously look at you and wait for you to say something, it's a bit more awkward. It's a wee bit more awkward. But both of them are super nice. So some things are cleared up. One is that they're not taking 310s. They're both taking 294 and 295 at the same time, because 310s are for juniors and they're both sophomores. Oomph. Second of all, I was like, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, good. We're just picking up some sound equipment for our 294, just stuff. It's very lame. And I'm like, yeah. And I told them I'm taking 290 and I'm on my way to get permits. They asked me what my film is about. I told them I'm making a short film. They're like, what the film is about? Like, Anya asked me, and I'm like, I have to explain. So I was like, oh yeah, it's about a girl having an identity crisis, and the ending is crazy. It's like Twin Peaks. The girl was like Laura Palmer, and Colin was like, yeah, can't wait to see it. And Colin was like, oh, by the way, I saw your Instagram story. You applied to Cannes. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I did too. And I'm like, really? Which 2 reviews did you write? And he's like, oh, I found out it's not even in the top 100, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Daisies. And I was like, oh, great. And then Anya asked me what 2 films did I write. It's funny, it's like they both share the same brain cell. It's like I'm talking to 2 people at once. Instead of like 3 people having a conversation, it's me talking to 2 people and 2 people talking to me. So Anya was like, which 2 films? And I was like, oh, Uncle Boonmee, Who Can Recall His Past Lives, and Persona. And Anya's like, oh, Persona's good. And I was like, oh, I was going to do a French film because the woman's favorite film is Contempt by Godard. And we talked about Godard a little bit. Anya was like, which Godard films have you seen? And I was like, oh, Breathless and Pierre Le Fou. And then Anya was like, oh, Breathless is overrated. Pierre Le Fou is fine. She hates Contempt. And I'm like, okay. I was also going to ask, because what are the fucking chances? Next time I see Colin might be years. So I was like, oh, Colin, by the way, like your short film, like the gore thing. And he's like, what? I'm like, oh, last semester you told me that you made a short film about a guy who sees himself in a gore video. And he's like, oh yeah, I used that to apply into film production. And I'm like, wow, that's great. I hope he just sends this to Cams Fest. If I see him again, I'll persuade him to do that. And I hope he gets it. I hope he goes to Cannes with me. Even though I'm also not sure if I'm getting it or not. What if Colin gets to go and I can't go? All those hours spent writing the reviews and everything and all gone. Classic Enoch experience. But yeah, they're both really nice, and I was like, are you 2 working on something? And they're like, not really. We're in pre-production for this one shoot, and then we're trying to launch a weird club. And I'm like, wow, cool. I also told Colin that Cheyenne's in my class, and he's like, Cheyenne? And I'm like, yeah, Cheyenne last name. And he's like, oh, that's weird, because I keep forgetting that she's 1 grade above us. And I'm like, oh? And then I realized, oh yeah, Cheyenne is a junior and they're sophomore. Like, these rankings are weird as fuck. What a weird system. But yeah, at the end I was like, oh, if you need any help, let me know. And they're like, okay, good luck. And I'm like, yeah, and then that's it. So that's really nice. I've been waiting to run into them for a while, and finally I have. You know, sometimes if you run into someone, you just gotta manifest it. You gotta manifest it yourself. Yeah, so, there's that. Okay, so, got the permits, easy peasy, room booked, problem solved. So right now I have the classroom, I have the dorm, I have the actor, I'm having the extras, I got the script ready, I got the gear ready, all I need is to make props and find a crew member, and we're done! And then pre-production is done. We're actually doing it, guys. Remain in Light is actually happening. Oh yeah, it's funny, I went to the permit office earlier, rewind time, earlier in the morning, I went to the SPO office, and, it was 2 guys, and they saw that my last short film was called The Wallet Exercise, and they laughed. And I was like, yeah, that's the name of the exercise for 290. But then next, the short film I'm applying for is called Remain in Light, and they're like, oh, Remain in Light, like Burial? And I'm like, no, that's Talking Heads. And he's like, oh, yeah, Talking Heads. Burial. Sure. But yeah, so I'm about to cook up something really crazy. Again, the call with Vivian last night went so well. Like, she's actually, like, really interested. And she, apparently, the dance video, so, like, last weekend, like, Saturday, so 2 days or 3 days ago, she was, like, busy doing something and busy making a dance video. And I thought she's, like, one of the dancers in the dance video Katie is producing. It turns out it's different. She's doing her own dance video and she's directing it, and it's like interpretive dancing or something. And I'm like, wow, that's great. And I didn't realize this. Like, she's a little just a little quirkier than I'd expect, a little quirkier. But I feel like everyone is a little bit quirkier than you would normally expect. But anyways, it's really cool. So I was like, yeah, you know. And apparently, she was asked to PD the dance video that Katie was producing. Anyways, it's super complicated, but I'm about to cook up something really crazy, and Vivian might be one of the few actresses in USC who's actually able to pull off my role. She might be one of the few people who could do it. Um, yeah. So I'm really excited for Remain in Light. I really am. Okay, I digress. I saw the second ITA at the bookstore. It's a very nice guy, but way easier to talk to, and his English is way better. Mainly because he's been in the US for 8 years, even longer than me. So why am I teaching him English? I don't know. He is from Yangzhou, Jiangsu province. He's really soft spoken. He's like really nice, and he's like, let's find a place to sit down. He's much more active. He's also insanely busy. Apparently, he studies civil engineering, and he said, why not just do like 1 hour meeting here and another Zoom meeting there? And I'm like, sure, that's fine by me. Originally, he's like, let's just do all Zoom meetings, and I'm like, I don't think that's possible. But yeah, now it kind of works because I can meet the first guy every Tuesday, and then immediately afterward meet the second guy, and then on Friday I'll be completely freed up. A normal person would think, then let's just meet one guy on Friday, meet one guy on Tuesday. And I'm like, no, let's put both of it on Tuesday so that Friday is free for me. It's a freebie. Because I need that one day to sleep. Every week I just need Friday where I could sleep in. Saturday and Sunday is a film set. Every other day is school. Yeah, so we talked, and then he's talking about his girlfriend again and how he had this road trip, but then I didn't put into my mind that he's like a second year PhD student, so supposedly he's like at least 4 to 5 years older than me. So yeah, but yeah, he's like learning about, he's TAing, he's doing research on like environmental friendly electricity. And he likes making lo-fi hip-hop, or just lo-fi music, which is very funny. So yeah, cool, whatever, cool beans, yay, hoo hoo, haha. And then afterwards I went back home, and that's it. But yeah, very long day. It's crazy how, like, normally if I just take classes and do nothing else, it's supposed to be very short, but like now there's all this stuff and it's very long. Christian R randomly called me and was like, hey, when are you free? I didn't pick it up because I was in the middle of an ITA meeting. A little bit later he's like, oh, I booked a time to go to the prop house at 12 p.m. on Friday, if that's okay. And I was like, yeah, that works. So yeah, even this Friday I won't have rest. And the thing is, Saturday and Sunday I'm filming my thing, so, you know. Oof, so much is happening. The one issue is that I'm trying to book a room in SCA in the weekend. The problem is that SCA isn't open until 12 p.m., which is insane. So I can't use the room until 12, which means I changed the schedule a bit here and there. So I'm going to tell that to Vivian. I've changed the schedule here and there a little bit. And, yeah, you know, just, it's going to be a very tight scheduled 2 days. I'm filming 48 shots over 2 days. So the first day, I think 29 shots, and the next day is like 21. But I have to account for all the times I have to let Vivian go back to her dorm and change up and then come back out, which is just absolutely insane. this is the craziest script I've ever written. And I think if you're an actor and you see a script like that, you'll probably love it. But it's a lot of work, but you'll probably love it because it's such an insane script. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And in other case, I spoke with Jayun a little bit more. Jayun suddenly DM'd me saying, "Oh, by the way, apparently you need to build a gaming booth." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Is there going to be other art people?" And she's like, "Yeah, 2 more. And also the shoot is going to be March 18th to 21st. It's locked." Which is, again, like, what if I film on that weekend? What if Smooth Operator is that weekend? Like, come on. So, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But I told Jayu I was like, "Hey, are you better with texting than Instagram DMs? Cause I feel like you text better." And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna text you then." And she's like, "Sure." So yeah, I don't know why, but Jayun's so cold to me now, and nothing's happened between us. It's not like Leslie, where, you know, I I approached too close, and then she started to become cold towards me. Jayun is just not interested at all, and the thing is, I'm not interested. I'm not that interested in her either. I don't feel the butterflies when I see her at Coffee Bean. It doesn't really matter that much to me that she was there. Again, it's mainly because I don't see her or talk to her that much, anyways. But regardless or not, I'm. It's easy to get bummed out by no girlfriend. But I'm also on this subreddit called r/lonely, and oh my god, that place is a fucking gold mine, because it's just people talking about, why does no one like me? Why is it so difficult for people to care about me? Why am I so pathetic? Why am I so ugly? Why is it so tough? And I'm reading these posts and I'm like, holy shit, these guys are going through the same thing I'm going through, and I feel less bad. Somehow, I feel like there's a community of us out there. It's very mean too. It's like incels or something, but I'm not an incel, but it's so fucked up, and let's embrace it. Let's embrace it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I forgot to mention that, like, a couple days ago, Justin T just casually mentioned to Michelle that I have a YouTube channel, and I'm like, stop it, stop it. And Michelle's like, what? What is it? And then somehow Michelle forgot, so she's not asking me about my YouTube channel anymore. So, memories. So I ran into Justin T today while I was at the village. Second of all, what was second? When I was carrying the gimbal to my 290 class yesterday, and Andrew Wu saw me, I told him, "Oh, this is Ethan Kwan's gimbal," and he laughed because he knows who Ethan Kwan is. Andrew Wu asked me if I was the gaffer for the music video shoot, because Sunday was the music video shoot, or was it Saturday? And Andrew Wu was like, apparently he was called in very last minute to grip because there's no grip or gaffer. And then somehow he figured out that it was originally me. And I was like, yeah, I was originally the gaffer, but I applied for PD and I can't gaff, so I just dropped out. Which is a wise choice, because I would not want that to coincide with any of my 290s or pit. So, regardless of what goes on with Jayu, what goes on with this, what goes on with that, etc., etc., I will be meeting more people. By going to that film set in spring break, I will be meeting more people. Hey, maybe I should even take a chance and ask Jayun to meet up for coffee or something, even as unlikely as that would happen. But I should at least shoot my chance, Yeah, excited for the HKOS thing. I don't know why, but talking to film distributors and hunting down distributors so stupidly fun that I'm like, yeah, I gotta hunt down whoever has the rights to John Woo's The Killer. And I'll promote the shit out of HKOS, by the way, if I'm chosen as the director. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much else. I forgot to mention that when I saw Colin turned around and was like, nice hair. Which is really, I think it's like a reflex. I don't think he really meant it. I think he just, because of how socially awkward we all are, I think he just picked some random thing to say. My hair was not nice. It was ruined by the wind. It was uncombed. It was the opposite of nice. So, just so you know. Time now is 10:47 a.m. in the morning on February 13th. 12. Oh my god. So I slept from 5:50 to 11:40-ish. Oh, I feel terrible. I almost was able to go to bed early. I was almost able to go to bed before 5, but no. Instead, I decided to be productive, and I watched 2 episodes of Squid Game. I edited college update video. I spent some time doing my homework. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, tonight is 4 a.m., like before 5 a.m. for real. Tonight, let's go 4:30. Also, I thought I could sleep in today, and then I realized I couldn't because even though I don't have RIT 340, I still have CTCS 192 discussion. My hair's insane, actually. This is one of the most insane wake-up hairs I've ever had. Yeah, so, CTCS 192 discussion. Fuck me. And also I can't sleep in on Friday because I need to go to the prop house with Christian R. And obviously on Saturday and Sunday I can't sleep in because it's my short film shoot. The only day I could sleep in is Monday, so I'll be sure to not plan anything for Monday. Yeah. Yeah, so this is really, really tough. I also apparently I have to meet with the ITA, the second ITA again. Let's call them TA3 and TA4. Apparently I have to meet TA4 again today. And I need to remind him because I think he didn't realize that we planned it too. So, yeah. If it's canceled and we decide to move it over Zoom, then that would save me some time. Then after CTCS 192 discussion, I could just go back home. Because I really don't. I want to go home and sleep, actually. I just really want to sleep. I also can't find a crew member for my short film. I need one. I just need one guy or one person to help me. I DM'd Ashley, and she says she's not free. So, I don't know. Too late. Maybe I should DM Justin T. Here's a fucking mess. I also bought another Blu-ray last night. I had to. it was so cheap. It was only $20, and if it's not $20, my next option is 28. The 20 became 26, and the 28 becomes 38. So that's a huge difference. So yeah. Got another Blu-ray. And I think I won't buy any more until the Criterion sale. And then that's it for February. But I'm getting Pulse in 4K today, and I'm also getting my Wii order, so I'm excited about that. I may also go to Trader Joe's, not sure. Yeah. But yeah, my Remain in Light is coming along. Remain in Light, I think aside from getting a crew member, I got everything else down. Of course I need to hunt permits. But I got most of everything down already, so yeah. Fuck, so wet.
You'll see two places. One is where you're going to be putting your XLR cable. The other is a little metal threaded screw, so that's what you're going to spin and put the boom pole on.
I think you just messed it up.
No, it didn't.
Wait, I think you get one as you go. Yeah.
Who?
He's the dad in Hairspray.
Wait, what?
I love that you know this. This
Yeah.
is like insane.
Custom Foley sounds. Sometimes you'll get lucky and record a great sound on set. These are called PFX or production sound effects. Sound effects are often mono, but sometimes can be stereo. Same rules apply to backgrounds. Usually you'll find them in a Okay, so let's put our knowledge to the test and take a little hike in this beautiful forest.
Hola, time now is 8:59 p.m. Yeah, I just came back home. I'm in my street clothes, and our class ended early today, so I'm just gonna stand here, walk around, and I'll go downstairs, make dinner, and it's gonna be a-okay, baby, a-okay. So yeah, my Pulse 4K Blu-ray is scheduled to arrive at 9 p.m. So theoretically, the Blu-ray should arrive in 1 minute. So we'll see. Hopefully by the end of me filming this video, the Pulse 4K Blu-ray would have arrived, because tomorrow I'm hella busy and I can't pick up the Blu-ray. And it'll get stolen because there are nothing but thieves in this area. So today, woke up, felt like shit. I normally go back to sleep after I wake up, but today I did not because I realized I don't have time. I need to catch the 11:20 bus, and it was already like 10:50 after I woke up. So I literally like brushed my teeth and everything, and I have like 9 minutes left, And I'm like, 9 minutes is too much for me to change my clothes and everything, but not enough to have breakfast. But I do want to eat something. So I made myself a tiny bowl of cereal, very small bowl of cereal, and ate it super fast. And then I changed my clothes super fast, and then I left. And then turns out it's raining. But it's raining very little. So I'm like, well, it's fine. I'll just let the water hit me and it's gonna be okay. So, I took the bus, I caught the bus, I arrived at school, and I had a granola bar, and I brought a manga with me, and I was just gonna chill. I'm gonna go upstairs, go to SCA third floor and chill. I went to SCA third floor, there's a table area, and there's a couch area. Couch area is full of people, so I went back to the table area, and I saw Linda. Linda from Imperfect Us and my 192 class. And she's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and we talked a little bit, which kind of defeats the purpose. I want to sit down in quiet contemplation, eating a granola bar and thinking about life. But we were like, hey. And then suddenly I remembered that I have to submit a TLC report, which is the first written report for the ALI program every semester. So TLC means teaching language and culture, because I need to teach these Chinese TAs teaching language and culture. And it's funny because I'm teaching Chinese people English, and then meanwhile in my daily life, I also teach, I also speak to Chinese people, mostly in English. Sometimes they come up to me and randomly speak Mandarin, which is always a shock, which happened. But yeah, I and Linda, we sat down, we talked a bit, and then suddenly I realized that, and I typed really fast. The good thing is I'm a very fast typer, and I think I've trained myself to the point where I'm not even scared of writing anymore. I mean, at no point in history am I scared of writing. It's just that speed writing, like when I'm running against a deadline, it gets nervous and stressful. Also, when I don't know what to write, it gets nervous and stressful. But I've trained myself to the point where I see a blank sheet of paper and my brain immediately goes, okay, write that, write that, write that. And I go boom, 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 just came out of my head. And then I submitted my thing. I submitted the contracts first, which I think are more important. And then I couldn't finish the reports, but it's okay, I can be a few minutes late. So we went to class, and I haven't even had my granola bar, so I was planning to eat my granola bar in the classroom. So yeah, 192 discussion, Rachel did not go again, and I sat with Linda this time. And as it turns out, today we're all doing a presentation. I thought, so last Wednesday morning I didn't go to CTCS 192. I skipped it. And apparently during class what they did is they talked about the Oscars and its rules on diversity and inclusion, and we are supposed to form groups and make a PowerPoint together and present how to improve these rules and how to accurately be diverse and inclusive. I thought all of that happened last week. Turns out last week was the preparation. This week is a presentation. And I'm still busy typing up my TLC report. So the TA Marissa gave us 15 more minutes to prepare, and I just did not care. And I saw Linda and Cole Kim, the big Korean guy, and then a couple other people. They're in a group. And I was like, can I join? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I joined in. And then at some point, apparently we're all panicking. Like, we all don't know what to type in the Google slide. And I looked at the slide and I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll just immediately think of something. So I thought of something and added some Google images super fast. Within 2 minutes, I came up with a whole Google slide. And then I went back to my TLC report and continued typing that. I'm such a fast thinker, even though I'm like super sleepy. But the thing I can always do, no matter if I'm sleepy or hurting or whatever, is I can really think at any time and come up with things to write and say. Like, I think I have that ability, which is good. So yeah, we did the presentation together as if I was also here last week, but I wasn't here. and then it was whatever. It's not even graded. It's just participation. It's just fun. It's just fun in games. It's just silly, goofy shit. And then afterwards, we finished. We left. I left, and it's yay. It's yay. And then it's raining a lot. So I thought because I left kinda early. Okay, so the idea originally is I'm gonna meet. So RIT 340, which goes from 2 to 3:30 p.m., that's canceled. That's not gonna happen. And then originally the idea is I'm gonna just meet the TA4 from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. in person. And then 4:30 p.m., somehow on my Google Calendar it says 5 p.m. I have a sound checkout. And then 6 p.m. it's the CTPR 290 class. But, as it turns out, RIT 340 is canceled. And there's no sound checkout because we already checked out the sound this Monday. So, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna email TA4 and say, hey, can we just meet over Zoom? And, yeah. And so I can go home and rest. So instead, now I have some free time, and I thought, you know what, I'll go to Trader Joe's and I'll buy some food. So I went to Trader Joe's and bought a bunch of interesting foods that I've never tried before. Turkey patty, clam chowder soup, like, just weird shit in general. Oh yeah, I'm excited to try them. Trader Joe's has become a bit of a savior. First time I went to Trader Joe's back in January 2022, I had a breakdown. But now I know how to play the Trader's game. So, yeah. Yeah, and then after buying Trader Joe's, I had to wait like 20 fucking minutes for the bus to come. And the rain got worse and worse and worse. And my backpack was drenched. May I remind you, I brought my manga with me and everything. I had no umbrella. Thankfully, when the bus arrived at the bus stop, the rain was a bit more subdued. The rain is more toned down. But yeah, I still got really wet. The good thing is my shoes weren't that wet, but my socks were a bit wet. So after I came back home, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take a shower. And also it's really fucking cold. So regardless or not, I wanted to take a shower anyways, and I wanted to go to the bathroom. So afterwards, I had lunch, which was sushi from Trader Joe's, and then the second half of lunch, I finished my orange bell pepper, and I had a sausage with it. So my lunch came in 2 parts, and my breakfast also came in 2 parts. So I had 4 meals today, 4 tiny meals, and then I'm gonna have dinner later. 5 meals a day, but in tiny portions. Who cares, man? As long as I'm fed, it's okay. And I realized since I have time, I'm back, I might as well finish Squid Game Season 2 and film my review. So I did it. Originally, I wanted to do it tonight and then film the review tomorrow, but the thing is, I don't even have time to do that shit tomorrow. So I'm filming, so I watched Squid Game and I filmed a review, and it's already 4:15. I emailed TA4, I was like, hey, can we push the Zoom meeting to 4 p.m.? And then I finally got onto the Zoom at 4:15. And then he's like, oh, hello, thank you, but in 15 minutes I need to leave. And I'm like, that's okay. I don't think we need that much time. So we rehearsed a graph presentation, graph about power outage across America. And then I was like, yeah, I gave him some notes here and there, and then I left. Didn't even use up the complete 15 minutes. I think in about 12 minutes we went through the whole thing. And that's great. It's 4:30 p.m. So it's very interesting because a lot of non-Chinese people probably think, oh my god, where did all these Chinese people come from, and why are they stealing our jobs? Why are there so many like smart Chinese people who all look the same and are super good at maths and science, and they're infiltrating America right now? And yeah, I guess it can be very confusing and weird, but now that I've worked with 4 Chinese TAs, 2 computer science people, 1 gerontology, 1 in civil engineering. I'm like, okay, I kind of get it now. I kind of get it. I kind of get how this is happening. Like, they study in China. They want to go out there. They want money. They want to go out there. They want a future. And because of the Chinese education system really, and Hong Kong too. Hong Kong is doing the same thing, literally. It really rewards you for being my mom's texting me. It rewards you for being, smart and specific about like engineering or like biology or medicine or something. So it becomes like a Westerner would probably go, oh, my passion is music. My passion is, is art. But a lot of Hong Kongers and Chinese people are probably like, oh yeah, my passion, I genuinely love studying fungus, which is what Nick was doing a couple of years ago or last year. So yeah, I mean, hell yeah. Okay, anyways, 4:30 p.m. I made myself lunch, and then 5:15 I missed the bus. 5:30 I walked to school. The rain completely stopped. Even though the weather forecast was like, oh, it's gonna rain. It didn't rain that much. Walked to school, felt good. I had gloves on. I felt like a mysterious, hidden in the dark guy. And then I sat at the lobby of SCA and I took out my manga, my JoJo manga, and I was reading it with gloves on, even though my hands were hot as fuck. And I feel like an intellectual. And I was reading it, and then CC... the thing is, like, I shouldn't read it there. It's noisy, it's distracting. I get distracted constantly. CC, the TA, showed up and walked past me. And I was like, hey. And she suddenly said something to me. And it took me for a moment to realize that that's not in English. That's in Mandarin. I think she said, why aren't you downstairs or something? And then I couldn't really respond. I don't know what to say. So I was going to say, like, wait for a bit. I'm reading, but A, I don't know what to say to her. B, I don't know in what language to say it. So I'm just like, oh, duh, duh, duh. And she's like, oh, okay. So, okay. So I went downstairs to the basement, to the editing dungeon, B118. And I sat beside Audrey S. And we actually talked about classes and stuff. And, yeah, for the most part today, we're actually learning how to do sound. So, on Monday, during sound checkout, I was like, wow, we really learned sound in 1 hour. We learned more today, which is good. And then the last hour, we basically checked out the sound and music library and learned about post-production sound, which is somewhat useful because I'm not familiar with that at all. But yeah, I'm also really bored by this. So I kept falling asleep. In the second half of the class, I kept falling asleep. I was so comfortable. I realize this, like, whenever I'm sleepy and the room is dark, I just start falling asleep. Which is crazy because normally I don't fall asleep that easily. But yeah, Benji, he was playing Cine to Nerdle, this online game about movie trivia, and I was looking at him play, and I was like, oh, do Guillermo del Toro, you know? That was fun. I'm glad I'm socializing with other classmates. This is what film production is all about, honestly. And we're not even doing film production. We're just in an editing lab. And then, yeah, me, Audrey S, and Tina, we like opened a tripod and we like tested things out. We played around with the boom mic. I felt like such a child. And I started pointing the boom mic at random people, and I was like, haha, I'm eavesdropping. And then, yeah, at some point we're talking about like our project and stuff, and I was like, yeah, my project's so complicated. I have like 8 locations. And Tina was like, so what is it about? And I'm like, oh. And she's like, oh, I mean, if you want to you don't want to tell me, then don't. And I'm like, I mean, it's okay. It's just, you know. And I explained to her it's like a psychological thriller slash horror. And she's like, oh, like who is being thrilled? And I'm like, you know, the main character. And she's like, okay, you're cooking up something. She and Audrey S. and maybe another person was like, wow, I really liked your short before. So I think your next short is gonna wow me. And I'm like, nah, like, you know, now the pressure is on. So yeah, I don't know, because the thing is, like, my last exercise, I wasn't even trying. Like, I filmed 8 shots, I had my limitations, and I tried to fancy it up during post-production, but it was nothing. But this time I'm actually going to try hard. I'm going to film it in 4K, so that's a sign. That's a first sign. And the second sign is I'm going to film it in 1.7... I'm going to edit it in 1.375 to 1 aspect ratio. I got tons of locations. There's going to be a lot of editing tricks. I hope it turns out good. The thing is, I'm still not expert at making fast-paced, crazy short films. I'm good at slow, poetic, abstract films. And that's very specific. I'm good at, like, Api Chapong, Wong Kar-wai, Edward Yang territory. I think I'm pretty good at that. But, like, any other territories in filmmaking, I can't quite get it. So I'm kind of scared that the whole film would just feel like a mess and it would fall apart. But I think if your main character's tripping, like tripping out, or like not tripping out on drugs, but like going insane, I think that's a great excuse, because if the editing feels wrong, if there's no rhythm in your film, you can just say, well, it's like, you know, psychological. It's supposed to feel like that. It's a good excuse. So I'm just gonna do that. I got Wii. Thankfully, none of my food items were stolen. I got Wii before I went to class, and yeah, I got pineapple buns, I got egg tarts, I got noodles, I got chashu. Oh shit, I should have bought the frozen dim sum. But yeah, I'm eating good, you know? I'm eating good. I got some interesting food in my fridge, and I'm excited to try them. It's good. It's the 4th year I've lived in LA, and I've come to a point where I can consistently buy food, and I consistently know how to cook and keep myself fed, and now I'm at a point where I start experimenting. I start expanding my taste. Last year was really consistent, like pork, beef, chicken, pork, beef, chicken, sometimes salmon, pork, beef, chicken, rice, pasta, potatoes, rice, pasta, potatoes. And now also, but like, I'm experimenting. I found out about H Mart marinated pork belly. I fell in love with it. I found out about vinegar mackerel on Wii, which is sold out, but I fell in love with it. I found out about carne asada. That was 2 years ago, but I loved it. You know, made my own pork belly. Anyways, during break, Rachel came up to me and talked to me in Cantonese. It was a bit awkward because he just came up uninvited and just started speaking to me in an unknown, weird, exotic language, which is my mother tongue. And I'm like, sure. So, okay, my short film, Remain in Light. Earlier today, I was struggling with finding crew, finding people who can help me. I DM'd Ashley. She says she's busy on a different set. Good for her. I DM'd Leza, and they were like, no, I'm visiting my family. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So I DM'd Justin T. I was like, hey, you busy? And he's like, maybe I can do Sunday. And then, perfect. I told Rachel about this, and Rachel was like, I think I'm free Saturday. So I get 2 close friends for crew on both days if nothing goes wrong. And that's really important because, yeah. So yeah, I think once the crew is locked in, then it's locked. I also reconfirmed with Mia, the Chinese woman, and Kaylin that they're extraing, they're backgrounding. I'll confirm with Glenn later. But after all that shit, and then I do the permits tomorrow. I have to do it tomorrow. Friday's too late. I have to do it tomorrow. It's gonna rain a lot tomorrow, and I'll be in my Crocs. But I will have to do it tomorrow. After the permits are done, pre-production is over, and I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to roll. Okay, I'm ready to. Oh, I'm gonna practice gimbal tonight. I'll practice tonight. Watch me. I'll go to YouTube Shorts. I'll watch tutorials on how to work the gimbal. I'll prepare. I'll learn how to do the lights. I'll learn the gimbal, and then I'll practice moving around with my camera on it. It's gonna be great, and hopefully it's a fun shoot, and hopefully everything works out. And the good thing that it's raining is that A, it adds a moody atmosphere. B, the giant head statue at the USC Fisher Museum of Art looks like it's crying. That's art. That's poetry. You can't imitate that. Yeah, so I left the class today and was leaving with Rachel, but Rachel was on the phone with someone else, and then I ran into Giant. But it was just passed by. It was like in the mood for love, you know. I just walked past, and I looked terrible, by the way, because I just woke up from class, and I think I looked cool. I had gloves on, but I zipped up my jacket, and I looked like a tube. And then she walked past me. She's like, "Hey," and then I noticed her. Usually I notice people first, but I was, zoning out or whatever. And I was like, "Hey," and then she's gone. And then I called a free lift and came home. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I really would love to hang out with Giant. Simply because I want closure. That's such a serious thing to say. It never opened. How do I get closure if it never opened? But the thing is, all that good conversation back in Christmas now is boiled down to, are you free to help me film? I want to genuinely talk to her about life and shit. And if she's too busy to talk, that's okay. I don't mind, because I don't have feelings for her. And that's because I don't even see her that much. If I see her in a more social environment, maybe. But yeah, I'd like to get to know her a little more. And I like that this is the third time I've ran into her. I do run into people a little bit here and there. I do that. I do that sometimes. I think I also ran into someone today, but I just forgot. There's so much happens. So much shit happens. But yeah, and then Christian R told me if I could learn how to make fake cobwebs, and I'm like, sure, bring it on. Yeah. But yeah. Not much else, but Remain in Light is going strong. It's Wednesday today. There are 2 more days before Saturday, the shoot. And I'm already 95% done with pre-production. Oh, permits, 90% done. So I'm actually good. I'm good, actually. Yeah. And now I'm thinking of buying labs, because the next time I shoot, I may also use my own equipment. And then if I don't have sound equipment, then it's fuck all. So, yeah. And then not much else. Not much else is to be said. I'm okay. I'm emotionally okay. Like, it's crazy. The first 2 weeks of this semester, I was literally dying, right? But I think during the 3rd week, I found a good strategy. I find a good equilibrium between sort of like losing my sanity with treating myself well. I don't deny that I'm troubled. Like, I find people scary. I can talk to a lot of women. Talking to girls is fine, totally, 100%. But like, being in love is very scary. Like friendship, I can nail it. Love, next level. And I think overall, just like the reality of USC is still bothering me, but like I embrace it. USC is fucked up. Might as well let it be fucked up. Might as well let myself be fucked up and enjoy the fucked upness of USC. Might as well. Yeah. So yeah, feeling okay. I guess I'm feeling okay. And I can't wait to sleep in on Monday, even though something may come up. So yeah, Pulse in 4K, please be downstairs right now.